Good morning and welcome back to another episode of We Listen and We Judge.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's good to see you guys. Well, of course, I can't see you, but it's good to be back on the podcast.
Yeah, we took a couple of weeks off. We had a lot of things going on, graduations and all of the things.
Yeah. So today, you're going to kick us off on the topic?
Yeah, today we're talking about girls' trips. Recently I saw a few things on TikTok. I'm always on TikTok seeing things, but I saw a few TikToks about women taking girls' trips to kind of renew. And a lot of them feel like it's necessary to go on a girls' trip to refresh. Um, I don't know how husbands feel about that, especially if you're married. Single women, I could see where that could be occur more often. But I do think married women need an opportunity to hang with friends, relax, chill, connect, talk about things that's just only important to women because
Mm,
men don't care about a lot of the stuff that we talk about, in my opinion.
yeah.
In my opinion. Anyway, so just getting Brandy's thoughts. She's a single woman, although she's dating. What is her thoughts about girls' trips? So, Brandy, you want to tell us what you think?
Well, personally, I do really like girls' trips. It's one of the best bonding mechanisms if you are having female friendships, women friendships, and get to really explore the city. As mom said, talk about things that mostly only ladies want to talk about. And sometimes you really get to see new perspectives too that you've never really experienced before going on girls' trips as well. I personally enjoy girls' trip, and I also think there's certain places specifically you go for girls trip. Like I think there's places that's more like romantic, more for couples, and then I think there's those places that's definitely just for the ladies to explore. Of course, anybody can go anywhere, but there's some different locations that I would like to highlight that I think are great for girls trip. I actually do have a TikTok where I do my travels and I did a girls trip edition and I got a couple of places that I think. And I'll be posting that on the YouTube too so you can check it out if you want to plan your next girls trip. But I think my last girls trip, honestly, it's been a minute since I've had a girls trip, but we were just talking about maybe going to New Orleans, and that's one of the ones that I think is great for girls to go to, hang out, get some good food, and it's a vibrant city, lots of different people, culture, music, and fun things to do. And also, Canal Street has the shopping if you're into that, so that's one of the ones on my list for girls trips.
I've been to New Orleans about 4 times. One time we did it, my sisters. We went to the Essence Music Festival.
Which is a perfect location for a girls trip because
Essence is actually a really good girls' trip,
yeah, yeah,
too.
it's like a girls trip retreat, and that's honestly something I would love to do, like a festival just for the ladies to, let their hair down, listen to good music, have a good time, and I think, of course, men go too, but Essence probably is the perfect for a girls trip.
So that was my first New Orleans trip. And then second, I went to New Orleans with my husband and my sisters and their husbands and our family. I think you and Daniel went? No, Daniel went. Um, you didn't go with us. I'm not sure why not. But we did a family trip to New Orleans, and I think we just went to eat.
Yeah.
The food was really good. We finally got beignets because the first time we went to Essence, we overbooked ourselves. We
Mhm.
planned way too many events. We went to everything, all the concerts, and it felt like we didn't have a minute to breathe because we were doing all the things. We were trying to go to the recordings um at the convention center. We saw Mama Tina. We passed her on the shouts out to Beyonce's mom. We passed her on the sidewalk, headed to the convention center. She spoke. She's very down to earth. So we also got to see Michelle Obama that
Okay.
year. It was very good. We didn't get to see her up close and personal, but she was on stage being interviewed. Was it by Oprah? I don't even remember. Don't quote me. I don't know. I think it was by Oprah, but anyway, it was very good. I have to go back and look at my videos because I did get some videos of Michelle. She's so down to earth, relatable. So that was a good girls trip. Except for we didn't get a chance to like go to any good restaurants. Like I
I heard
said,
y'all only ate at McAllister's.
I mean, we did one night. We ate at the convention center another night. Like it was just like run and go all the time. So we had to plan a trip with our family to go back to New Orleans just to experience the food that we didn't get to experience the first time. So we had a really nice hotel. We didn't spend a whole lot of time in it. There was a white party downstairs in the hotel. I think there was some stars there, but after running and ripping and going, I was too tired to go to the party. So I didn't even go to the white party. Me and my older sister did, and I don't remember if the younger two decided to go back down or not. But anyway, I said all that to say, don't overbook yourself on a girls trip either, because you might not experience some of the things that you plan to experience. And then the third time, I don't know. I've been in New Orleans so many times, but I went to New Orleans with some of my friends as well. It was four ladies, all of us, class of '94. Shouts out to the class of '94. We went to New Orleans on a girls trip, and we had a good experience. We actually did get to do some sightseeing. We did that swamp tour. It was very fun to see the alligators and the snakes and all the things that we would never even go around if we saw it at home. But anyway, we had a very good experience with sightseeing. We had really good food. We went to some really good restaurants. So I think that's just a time where you can kind of relax and talk about nothing, talk about everything, and just have a good time. So I like an occasional girls trip. My sisters and I was planning one in Chicago to see Usher and Chris Brown, but we decided we didn't want that to be a girls trip. So we invited our husbands to come with us. So they'll actually go with us. That turned into not a girls trip. But we do a terrible job
Why
of.
would that never mind. Anyways, New Orleans is one of the ones that I've been on a girls trip before too, and I do think it's a good city.
Wait, what
So
you
we
trying to say? Why would they what?
wanna go to that concert.
They're not going to the concert. They're just going with
Okay.
us to Chicago.
I was gonna
We
say
didn't
because
wanna go to the show without them, but they're not going to the
Chicago is a really nice city. I've done a solo trip to it, and it's actually really safe.
Shouts out to you. However, we are taking our husbands to Chicago with us. We do have some things planned for all of us. One of the things we want to do is go see the presidential. We have tickets to go see the presidential library.
Okay?
President Obama and family show up. We're gonna be there on the weekend of 8/22. We coming on Sunday. We need y'all to be there so we can meet y'all. Okay.
You should try the air spa. That spa is really nice. I like that a lot too.
Yeah. But I haven't taken many girls trips other than you and I going to
Chateau
Chateau
Alon.
Alon, and then my sisters, two of my sisters met us there, or yeah, met us there for it was a birthday. Not sure which one. Maybe 45, 46,
It was an even number because the trip was in 2022. So probably 46.
46 then.
Mhm.
Okay, so my 46th birthday, we did a girls trip to Chateau Alon. Very nice.
Mhm.
We did some wine tasting. We went downtown in that area to a nice brunch restaurant. We had a really good dinner. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was really good. So
And
just
just spa too.
we did a spa. Oh my gosh, yes, that was
Not the
awesome.
one on Chateau Alon, because that one is really so a plug, if you are going to Chateau Alon and doing a girls thing there, just make sure you book the spa in advance. I also went with my homegirls to do a wine tasting too, so I do like day trip girls trips as well.
A good day trip. Yeah. If you don't mind riding.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
I flew to Atlanta, but they live up there, so
You flew in a day and came back in a day?
mhm.
But that is a day trip. You
It's
get
a day trip
overnight.
because we only did something in the day. Like I was on a trip to Atlanta. They live there, so it's not a girls trip. It's a girl going on a trip, meeting her friends to do
A
an
girl going
activity.
on a trip, meeting her friends to do an activity
Activity.
is not a girl's trip.
No, because the
It's a girl
girls
trip.
didn't trip. It's just a day trip. We just did a day activity. We went to dinner, and then they went back home, and I went back to my hotel.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would say another place that's good for girls trips that's probably not talked about a lot is Park City, Utah. I did that with a friend and that was pretty cool. We had a good time. This area is really nice. We were trying to go skiing, but there was no snow, but it was still amazing. They have this like really nice spot in the area too and good restaurants and it's very clean out there. The water is really nice. I'm trying to think. One of them that's on my list to do is Napa Valley.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up later, the
Yeah.
Napa Valley train ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't plan to drink any alcohol, but I do wanna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wanna do Martha's Vineyard, and then there's also this really nice black-owned spa
Arizona?
and resort. No, it's in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name anymore, but I do wanna go to that one because it's really nice. Some of them that everybody talks about, and I think is a little overrated, is Miami. Done the girls' trip to Miami. It was cool, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend Miami. I would just say try something different. If you like Miami vibe, instead of doing Miami, go to Tulum. That's what I recommend. And then another one that everyone talks about too is Nashville. Now, I personally have not done it, but I know that's a big girls' trip destination and stuff, especially for bridal parties and
I've noticed that. I went
Mhm.
to Nashville back in February for a work trip. Um, Miss Kim and I, we had a good time. I know we
Okay.
noticed a lot of bridal parties in and out or whatever, but I
Technically,
don't know
that's a
why they're
girls'
there for
trip.
that.
I guess because it's a
Nashville isn't
trip.
my jam, actually. I mean, we had a good time. We ate good food, but I mean, that's not a destination I would have chosen if I wasn't going for a work trip.
So technically, you did a girls' trip.
Yeah, I guess
Mhm.
a girls' work trip, and we
Yeah,
did have a good time. We had a great time.
yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't have chosen that on my own.
Well, I would say a cheaper alternative that people probably don't know about too is Northern Virginia is really big on winery. So I did a work trip to Martinsburg, West Virginia, and the HR manager, I was shadowing her because I was pretty new in HR and at like a lower level at the time. And I just went up there, spent some time with her. Her name was Katrina. She was really nice and just really knowledgeable. And she took me to a couple of wineries. I would say for the girls looking for like a cheaper alternative, check that out because you could stay in West Virginia, which is not really expensive, and they got a lot of cool things to do if you like the mountains. And then the wineries are really close to each other. There's also this really dope waterfall and like it's on the edge of where West Virginia and Virginia meets, and I think another state. So that's another plug too. And then Asheville, North Carolina. So my manager before the job of currently in, she stayed in Asheville and we did some things at like the Biltmore and we just went around Asheville a little bit to different restaurants. They're big on breweries. If you're into hiking, you know, I think Asheville just got a lot of different pockets. Like you can do the luxury vibe, or you can do the artsy vibe, or you can do the outdoorsy vibe. So I 100% put that on my list too for girls trips. It's really nice.
Mhm.
Even a solo trip, it would be fun for people to go to. So that's another plug if somebody's looking for somewhere different or fun and things like that.
Yeah, my friend Twila and I, a few years ago, I can't remember when, it was a while ago, went to California. I think we stayed in Santa Monica.
Okay.
Um,
I heard good things about Santa Monica.
we went to the pier.
Okay.
And then they had like street food, like there's food
Mhm.
trucks. And so our first night there, we just like visited the food trucks and walked around and just kind of looked. And um, it was a vibe. The street food was a vibe.
Yeah.
And just the people walking around and chilling. And we went to a couple of the beaches. One of the beaches though, you get contact high at that beach. I would not suggest. I can't remember the name of it, but I wouldn't go back. If I heard the name, I could tell you, I could say, yes, that's the name of it. And
Um,
it seemed like I would remember, so I would remember not to go back. But if I hear the name, I would know it. But I can't remember which one it was. But it's good vendors and good shops, but you can't breathe. And then we went to Hollywood. We visited the Hollywood Conservatory. We climbed and climbed and climbed. We went to Rodeo Drive. Um, just rode around Los Angeles, and then we actually ate in Los Angeles one night. It was really nice. We went to the Hollywood Stars Walk of Fame. That's a lot of hype. If you see it on TV, it's like, wow, I can't wait to go see it, blah, blah, blah. You go see it and you're like,
it's nasty.
it's a dirty sidewalk.
Mm.
But anyway, shouts out to all the stars who got a star. Look, I don't have one, so I'm not trying to say anything negative about y'all and y'all star. Congratulations. That street dirty. Anyway, and then we went to a winery. I can't remember the name of that. I can't even remember the name of the town. It seems like I would be able to remember. It started with a Y though. Um, hmm, I don't know. I am so not sentimental. I had a good time, but for some reason I cannot remember the name of any of these things. But we did have a good time. It was a vibe. We had a Uber driver who talked our heads straight off our body. She was she from Russia or Germany? Somewhere over there. Anyway, but yeah, she talked the whole time to the winery. And it was a little small, quaint town that we went to, where the winery was, and they had those like Dutch looking shops or whatever. So it was a really cute little quaint town close by. It starts with the Y, but for some reason it is not coming to me the name of the place
That sounds
um,
like Helen, Georgia.
that we went. It would give you kind of like Helen vibes, with the exception of um, more greenery and grapes and that kind of um landscape. But anyway, but the buildings, yes, like with the Dutch looking towns and the cute little buildings or whatever. Yeah, it does give you kind of healing vibes with that. But that was a good girls trip out to the West Coast. I would say Vegas probably would be a good girls trip. We did go to Vegas for my husband's 40th birthday. We had a big crowd. I was surprised at how many people that I invited came. So we
That's not a girls' trip,
No, it wasn't, but I'm
though.
just saying I was going into it because I was gonna say I feel like Vegas would make a good girls trip.
Uh-huh.
Um, if you give me a minute, like, you give me time to get to my point. I guess I'm taking too long to get to the point. Anyway, but my point is, after going with that crowd for my husband's birthday, I see that that would make a good guys trip or a good girls trip.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I see that too. Vegas is pretty flexible, in my opinion. That's just one of those cities, like, it can be anything you want it to be. I just don't think children should be in Vegas. But I do wanna say some international locations that I think that I've been to would be a great girls trip. And technically, it was supposed to be multiple girls, but one of the girls dropped out. But Barbados, if you go during their crop over, which is the Carnival Festival, it's the beginning of August. It's amazing. The people are super friendly, and you have a really nice time. Like I just 100% recommend anybody going to Barbados for a girls trip. And technically, so studying abroad, we had men there too, but we only hung out with the girls. So and I would say also this because Atlanta, they're going to this place right now. Edinburgh, Scotland actually was one of my favorite of all the places I went to study abroad. And also London would be a good one too. So those two would be great for a girls trip. You get to really explore if you're into museums and shopping. I recommend that. And some of them that's also on my bucket list that I didn't recommend. I know I said Napa Valley and that resort in Williamsburg, Virginia. Why? I can't remember. I don't know. But also the Oak Bluffs in Martha's Vineyard, I think that would be a great girls trip. But also that could be a good family trip too. I just think it would be really refreshing for the girls. So
yeah, that was my point. Like some of them, it make a good girls trip, but it also make a good family and friends or friends trip. I mean,
yeah.
guys and girls.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anywhere else. Oh, this is a big one now. I think you were saying this earlier. You thought that's what I was mentioning, but Phoenix, Arizona, it seems like that's a big one that girls are going to, as well as different places in Colorado. I think more people are starting to explore those states, and this seems fun for the girls. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of really nice places in the United States that I usually don't consider because it just costs so much to travel in the United States. I think I talked about this on Travel Talk,
Yeah.
but it seems just exorbitant to fly to some of the places in the United States. And then you can fly halfway around the world
For
for cheaper.
cheaper.
So weird. But anyway, I do think though exploring places in the United States is cool. I don't like drive
Mm, yeah.
long distances, but if you do, maybe doing like a cross country drive with girls, kind of like them and Louise. Anyway, I always thought that was neat, but I don't want to drive. But for those of you who don't mind hitting the road, just kind of driving across the country to see the country.
So now there's a lot of positives for girls' trips, but there are also some negatives too. And that's something that people don't really talk about. And, it just depends on the group of girls you go with. because sometimes you have issues with the girl who is always on the phone talking to her man and wanted to bring her man to every place and can't be without him. And also the two people that get into it on the girls trip. I've been through that before too. It's not fun. Like two people arguing about foolishness that nobody else really knows because they got some background beef. Like that's the downside of girls trip. They always say like Miami is one of the places that break or makes friendships. I don't really understand why they say that, but I guess people just also go on these trips with people they're not really cool with to begin with. They just need more people to go to split the Airbnb sometimes. And that's why I think they have these issues. You will sometimes have issues on girls' trips for sure, but my theory is people are just trying to split accommodations and going with people they're not really that cool with. So I would recommend, and this is my rule, if we have not gone anywhere, in our local area, like going out to multiple dinners or, did, like I said, a day trip together, we're not traveling anywhere far together either. It just really doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Unless it's for like, the one time I did travel with girls, I didn't really know was a bachelor at trip. And it was to Miami. We are no longer friends. So, but the trip was not the reason why. So that's also all I want to say. But I guess Miami it does have a curse on friendships.
Really?
Yes.
Mm, been to Miami. It ain't all that.
Yeah, I don't really care for Miami like that either. I've been several times. Most of it is for a layover, but I have been a couple of times. I've been for a couples trip. We ain't together. And I've been for a bachelor trip. I ain't cool with that people.
You
So
jaded. I
Miami
think you jaded
got a
because of
curse
your
on me.
personal
And
experience.
no, I'm just saying, even on the trip, I didn't really think Miami was all that. The only thing I really cared for was like the empanadas that they have downtown. But like I said, it's better places for a girls trip. Honestly, that wherever they went on Married to Medicine this last season, it was in Florida. That looked like a great place for a girls trip. I think it was like Miramar,
Oh yeah,
Florida.
Miramar.
Yeah, so and I always wanted to do the Keys too in Florida and Sarasota. So those seems like Tampa is a good one too. I didn't go on a girls trip, but I did a solo trip, but I realized like it would be a great girls trip. So
Okay, so girls trip recommend.
well, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. You mentioned this too earlier that you said like girls trip really is not that a thing for married women. And that's what I saw on TikTok. This woman saying she can't go on a girls trip because she's married. And I wanted to just gauge what the audience thinks. Personally, I feel like that's a little bit insane.
You said I said you can't go on a girls trip.
No, this woman on
Oh,
TikTok said, but you mentioned like married women don't go as much as single women on
oh,
girls trip.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but this married woman on TikTok says she doesn't do girls trips. Like she can't go on a girls trip because she's married and they don't understand the sanctity of marriage and all that stuff. And I think that's a bunch of hoopla because I've been on girls trips. Well, I've been on a trip with somebody that's married and stuff like that. And as long as you're respecting your marriage, I don't see anything wrong with going on a girls trip. It's not the same thing. I think people get in their mind like when you're on a girls trip, you're just going out looking for men and trying to be hot and get people's attention. And that's really not the end goal.
Right.
Even when you're single, the main goal is to have fun with the girls. You might meet men because you're a group of single women that are attractive, but that's not most people's end goal is to meet men. Like who is going out of the country or who is going out of their state just to find a man? That don't sound right to me. And we've done like the Houston trip we went for my cousin's birthday and my aunt is married and it was nothing. We were not out trying to find guys. We were just trying to find fun. And we did find fun
And
and
good
had a
food.
good time. Yeah, exactly. And Houston is known for good food too. And we went out a little bit, but like I said, nobody was trying to get with a man. So I think it's weird. And the other thing I want to point out is I'm pretty sure her husband is going to hang out with the guys and not thinking about her feelings and like, oh my gosh, I gotta respect my marriage. I can't hang out with my male friends anymore. Men don't do some of the weird thinking that women do. and I think they make their whole marriage their identity. So I think if you think like that, it's probably because all you see yourself is a married woman. In reality, your marriage probably would be better if you had a life outside of it.
I think that goes without saying when it comes to marriage, kids, jobs, like
Mhm.
none of that should become your identity.
Right. Mhm.
It makes up who you are and how your day
Goals,
goes,
right.
but it shouldn't be who you are.
Right, yeah. Sometimes we have to unplug and really just have fun and just be a normal person, you know? Like, sometimes things will bleed in together, of course. That's just human nature. But even like this podcast, we ain't always talking about work or our jobs, you know? We sometimes just want to talk about our everyday life. And honestly, I always tell people work is just a simulation. It's not really it's not really real. It's just a way to make money, and then once you leave, you actually have a real life.
You said work is not really what's real.
Yeah, I treat it like a simulation. I treat it like Sims.
Disagree.
I
Okay.
mean, that's how I treat it. That's how
So,
I'm able to disconnect, is treat
well,
it
back to
like
my
Sims.
question, girl trips recommend.
Of course, I recommend girls trip. I go on girls trip. I go on them as a single woman. I probably will still go on as a married woman too.
I do recommend occasionally, just from a married woman standpoint, um, go out with your girls every now and then. Give you a chance to laugh, relax, talk about nothing.
Mm.
I love just random conversations about things that don't really matter.
And serious conversations too. Like even with my friend Amber, we just did a little like a day trip and we went to a tea and we were just talking about like business and LLCs and our next moves. So it's a good way to connect with other women who's going through the same things you are
Yeah.
in your career too.
Number though, I mean, I guess it depends on how many girls are on the trip. Things that Brandy's talking about, I'd rather do that with a close friend or my sisters. But like if it's 3 or 4 people, I probably wouldn't talk about too many serious things. Because when you
Okay.
do that with a bigger crowd, I mean,
And that's how
it's
you
never
get
a good
into the
idea.
arguments too, because
Right.
people have different opinions and sometimes people can't just have a different opinion and let the other person have their
And you got to learn to not let somebody else's opinion,
dictate how you.
yeah, it's not personal.
Mhm.
If somebody feels a certain way about a certain thing, that is their feelings. It says nothing about yours. And
Right.
I think, the more people you get in the crowd, the harder that gets. So,
Yeah.
anyway. All right. Well, girls' trips, I recommend married or not, single or married. I feel like every now and then,
Mhm.
hit the road, hit the skies. I don't do boats like that no more. But to
Yeah.
each their own. Hit a boat if that's what you want to do. I don't want to be on nobody's water for long periods of time. I can't swim. I can't fly either, but I certainly can't swim. So,
I think that lady on TikTok should at least try one girl's trip before she turns it down.
yeah,
Or get new friends.
at least try one girl's trip, I would say. Plane, trains, or automobiles, however you want to travel. I prefer flying the friendly skies, Delta if we can, American if we can't do Delta. But anyway, those are my girls' trip preferences. And I like staying in the United States on girls' trips. When I go see the world, I really like going with my husband or my family. So, that's it for me on girls' trips. What you listening to?
So the song that I was listening to and wanted to plug for this episode is Company by Lyrica Anderson. You probably know her if you watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, but she's actually a really good musician. She's mostly known for writing songs, like she's written for Rihanna, Beyonce, and others. But her song Company is really good, and I've been listening to that lately. So that's my listening to.
Okay. My listening to well, T.I. just keep putting out the hits. I
Okay.
kinda like Mr. Him is here.
Uh-huh.
So I just kinda been listening to the hits that he's been putting out. I did not watch the BET Awards, but I have seen clips of his performance on
Mhm.
the internet. So I feel like he's making a little resurgence. So yeah, check out Mr. Him is here. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, maybe he'll put an EP or album out.
He's been stringing together some really good hits, so maybe so. Yeah.
All right. Did you have a judging you?
I don't have a judging you this week. How about you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next time on We Listen and We Judge.